Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Shri Guru Maharaj ki jai, Hari Om Tat Sat. So Hare Krishna. Thank you, Anuttam Prabhu, for giving me an opportunity to be with you again. Many of you I already know. I think I visited a couple of times Kalayadesh. So I know some of you personally. Anyway, a warm welcome to all of you to this satsang. So Anuttam Prabhu has requested me to speak on Shiva Tattva. As Prabhu already mentioned, the four tattvas, Radha Tattva, Dhama Tattva, Shiva Tattva, Guru Tattva, all these tattvas, they're all very difficult to understand. But in order to progress in spiritual life, it is very important that we understand these tattvas. That's why Krishna is saying, Janma Karma Chame Divyam Evam Yoveti Tattvataha. It is important to understand these truths in the correct way. But they are very mysterious at the same time. Just by using our mundane intelligence alone, we will not be able to understand them. We also need Guru Kripa, Guru Kataksha. Like a couple of days back, I was with a group of devotees and I was visiting a temple in Andhra Pradesh called Panakala Narasimha Temple, Panaka Narasimha. So there, it is something very mysterious is happening from Satyuga onwards. If some of you have visited, you must be knowing that this temple, it's a beautiful temple on top of a hill. And there, we don't have the regular deity form. It's Narasimhadev, but only the lotus mouth of Narasimhadev is prominent there. So in order to appease the anger of the Lord, they offer panaka, that is lemonade, with a jaggery. And how much ever you pour into the mouth of the deity, it goes inside. And you can also hear the gurgling sound when someone drinks water. If you stay close by to the deity, you can hear the sound. That's the deity is drinking that. And some of the panakam is given back to you mercifully by the Lord. It comes out of the mouth and that is collected and given as prasadam. So many people did a lot of research, experiments to find out where this panakam is going. You know, how much ever you pour, for many yugas this is being done. Like it is mentioned in that temple Mahatmya. In Satyuga, the Lord was appeased by offering Amrita from Devaloka. So in Satyuga, so much quantity of Amrita was poured into the deity's mouth. And in Treta Yuga, ghee was offered. So gallons of ghee was offered for that entire Yuga into the mouth of the deity. In Dwapara Yuga, they offered milk, and in Kali Yuga, they are offering panaka. So for so many yugas, where is all this liquid going? No one is able to find out. So many scientists came, so many geologists came. They did research. They couldn't find. And another wonderful thing that I noticed there when I went there was, this lemonade is sweetened with a jaggery. So wherever there is jaggery, you will see a lot of ants and flies. But in the whole temple, even though thousands of liters of panakam is offered and it is spilled all over the place, there is not even a single ant or fly there. So all these things are very mysterious, very difficult to understand with our mundane intelligence. So similarly, these tattvas are very difficult to understand. Why Radha Tattva is difficult to understand? Because people think that Radharani is just a girl. She was in Vrindavan. She was one of the lovers of Krishna. And that's it. And that's why even now in Vrindavana there is a group of people called Sahajiyas. They very cheaply imitate Radharani. They dress themselves like Radharani. They think they are Radha. So it's very difficult to understand. And Dhama Tattva, it's difficult. Why? Because say suppose you are going to Vrindavan. You will see that in Vrindavan is like any other town in India. There are a lot of automobiles, a lot of concrete buildings, sometimes even dirty gutters, pigs, and the usual things that you see in any town of North India, you can see in Vrindavan also. It is mentioned in the scriptures that Vrindavan is non different from Goloka Dham. It's a part of Goloka Vrindavan. So how is it possible? It's very difficult to understand. Guru Tattva. Guru is also like this. He is also a human being. He also gets sick. He also takes medicine. He takes food. He becomes old and he passes away. So it's difficult to understand. So similarly, Shiva Tattva is also very difficult. But somehow, by the mercy of our Vaishnava Acharyas, we have got some information with which we'll be able to comprehend a little bit about greatness of Lord Shiva. So whenever we talk about Shiva, we need to understand about 4 important epithets. First one is Sadashiva. Second one is Shambhu or Shambhulinga. Third one is Shiva. And fourth one is Rudra. So who are these personalities? Are they one and the same? Are they different? Why are they there? So if you find answers to these questions, at least we'll understand a little bit about the Shiva Tattva. So let's try to see one by one. First one is Sadashiva. So who is Sadashiva? So in Bhagavatam it is mentioned Sadashiva is an expansion of Swayam Narayana. So Narayana is expanding himself as Sadashiva. And especially in books like Brihad Bhagavatamrita by Sanatana Goswami, this world of Sadashiva is mentioned. It is called Sadashiva Loka. It is on the spiritual side because there are 2 sides. One is the material side, Leela Vibhuti, and there is a spiritual side of creation that is Nitya Vibhuti. So the Sadashiva Loka is on the spiritual side, and you can reach that Loka after passing through Brahma Jyoti. So in Brihad Bhagavatamrita it is mentioned, this Gopakumara, he after going through the Brahma Jyoti, that is the effulgence of the Lord, entered Sadashiva Loka. So that is his world. It is a spiritual planet. And there he is eternally residing with his consort, Rama Devi. Rama Devi is the wife of Sadashiva. And Rama Devi is an expansion of Lakshmi Devi. And what do they do there in Sadashiva Loka? They constantly chant Kirtan. They continuously do Kirtan there. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Sri Rama Govinda Mukunda Shaure, Sri Krishna Narayana Vasudeva. Sri Rama Govinda Mukunda Shaure, Sri Krishna Narayana Vasudeva, Ityadi Namamrita Pana Mattaha. Ityadi Namamrita Pana Mattaha. So, Sadashiva is intoxicated, is always intoxicated. Matta means intoxicated. But what is the intoxicant he is taking? Not Somarasa or any other liquor, not ganja, not marijuana, not bhang. Because why I tell you all these things is because in North India, there is a widespread notion that Shiva smokes ganja, Shiva takes bhang, is always intoxicated. Yes, he's intoxicated, but he's not intoxicated with all these cheap things. He's intoxicated with the namamrita, ityadi namamrita, panamattaha. So this is mentioned by Swayam Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling you this. And many foolish people, so-called followers of Shiva, they try to imitate Shiva by smoking ganja, marijuana, drinking bhang. Nowhere in the scriptures it is mentioned that Shiva does all this intoxication. In fact, another name of Lord Shiva is Neelakantha. Now, do you know why Shiva is known as Neelakantha? Anyone here knows?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, because he drank poison during the churning of...
Yes, in Bhagavatam it is mentioned. When Palari Mathana was happening, in order to save the entire creation, Lord Shiva mercifully drank Hala Hala Visha, and then it stayed in the neck of Shiva. That's why he became Neelakantha. But there is another esoteric reason why he has got a bluish neck. That is explained by our acharyas. They say it is not really the poison. That is only an external reason. The internal reason why his kantha is bluish is because he is constantly chanting the names of Neela Madhava. Since he is chanting the names of bluish Krishna, his throat has become bluish in color because of constant chanting of Nama, Neela Madhava. So, there in Sadashiva Loka, is constantly doing Kirtana. And all affairs related to this material world, including creation, maintenance, and destruction, is actually taken care by Sadashiva. Because Krishna never gets involved with the affairs of the material world directly. Vrindavanam parityajya padam ekam na gacchati. Prabodhananda Saraswati is mentioning this in Vrindavana Mahimamrita, that Lord Krishna doesn't take one step out of Vrindavana. He permanently resides in Vrindavana. Then how will we get involved in this material world? So to take care of the affairs of this material world, Sadashiva is there. Is the expansion of Narayana. So in Bhagavatam it is mentioned, when Vishnu, Mahavishnu has a desire to create, then what happens is two powerful rays from his two eyes, they emanate. From one eye, there is this ray of Jiva Shakti. And from his other eye, a ray of Kala Shakti comes forth. And this Jiva Shakti and Kala Shakti combines with the Prakriti. And from the combination of these three, an expansion of Sadashiva appears. And his name is Shambhu. Or he is also known as Shambhu Linga. So, Shambhu is the expansion of Sadashiva. And Sadashiva is the expansion of Swayam Narayana. So, Actually, Shambhu is created even before Lord Brahma. Normally we say Brahma is the first created being. But even before Brahma was created, Shambhu appears from Sadashiva. And then Shambhu expands himself as Shiva. And Shiva enters each and every Brahmanda. Just like Garbhodaka Vishnu enters each and every single planet, Shiva also enters each and every Brahmanda. So, as Shambhu, he is involved with the creation. And as Shiva, he is involved with the maintenance. So, how is Shiva involved with the maintenance? Because Shiva only empowers the Panchabhutas. The entire material world is created out of Panchabhutas: Prithvi, Jala, Agni, Vayu, Akasha. And when we closely examine, we'll understand that these Panchabhutas have totally contrasting characters. For example, Jala is cooling, Agni is heating. Wherever there is Jala, Agni will not be there. As soon as you mix some Jala into Agni, Agni is immediately extinguished. But then these Panchabhutas with the contrasting characters are mixed together to make all material things, including our body. So how can they coexist? Because they are having contrasting characters. Whenever there is a lot of Vayu, then Jala will not exist. It will be evaporated. But even then they coexist as Panchabhutas. So this unique nature of Panchabhutas to combine with each other is due to the presence of Shiva. That's why, even though there are so many Shiva Kshetras, 5 among them are considered very important. They are known as Panchabhuta Sthalas. That means each of these temples, they represent one of the Panchabhuta. They all have lingas, Shiva lingas, and each one of them represent a particular Panchabhuta. They are known as Panchabhuta Sthala. So the Shiva devotees, they do a pilgrimage of all these Panchabhuta Sthalas. If at all they are not able to visit all the temples, but they make sure that at least they go to these 5 temples. Just like Vaishnavas, they give importance to 108 Divya Deshas. Shiva Bhaktas give importance to this Panchabhuta Sthala. The first temple is in Kanchipuram, Ekambareshwarar temple. That temple, the lingam is called as Prithvi Lingam. In fact, when we went there a couple of months ago, I was talking with the pujari and he was saying that linga was made by Mother Parvati with her own hands using some sand centuries ago. But even now, it is still there. Just she made it with some sand. Nothing, no cementing factor, no concrete mixed, nothing is there. So that is Prithvi Linga. And in Tiruvannaikaval, it is near Tiruchi, Srirangam, there is Jambukeshwara temple. There it is Jalalinga. If you go there, if you closely go and watch the linga there, you will see that it is always moist. When we go there, the pujari will give bhasma and it will be little moist because he'll take it from near the linga. And if it is not crowded, if you can go close and watch, you can see tiny droplets on the Shivalinga. So that is Jalalinga. And the third one is Tiruvannamalai, Sri Arunachaleshwara Kshetra. There it is Agnilinga. You will feel it. Whenever you go near the Sanctum Sanctorum, you will feel a lot of heat. I visited there in December month. But even in December, outside everywhere it is cold. But then as soon as you go near the Sanctum Sanctorum, you will feel the heat. Because it is Agnilinga. And the fourth one is Sri Kalahastishwara. That is Vayulinga. So once when I visited that temple, the pujari told me, do you see anything special about the lamps lit inside the Sanctum Sanctorum? So I watched, it's a usual lamp. No, you watch closely. When I watched closely, I could see that there are two lamps on the two sides of the Shivalinga. And there are some lamps which are at the entrance of the Sanctum Sanctorum. But only those two lamps, they are flickering. As if some wind is constantly blowing through them. So then I said, yeah, I noticed that. Correct? Because this is Vayulinga. When you go close to the linga, you will feel the presence of Vayu. And the fifth one is Chidambaram. In Chidambaram, Tillai Nadaraja. He is Akashalinga. He represents Akasha. So like this, because of Shiva, the Panjabhutas act in a way that they are supposed to act. Otherwise, Brahma cannot use them to create anything. So, as Shambhu, he is involved with the creation. Because when this Shiva Tattva, Jiva Shakti and Kala Shakti, they join together with the Prakriti. From there, the rest of the creation starts. Then Mahat Tattva comes, then the Trigunas come, then the Panjendriyas come, Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, mind, intelligence, ego, everything comes forth from there. So as Shambhu is involved with the creation, as Shiva is involved with the maintenance. Because if the Panjabhutas disintegrate, this material world will not stay. So he's engaged, is involved with the maintenance also. And when it is time for samhara, then he assumes the form of Rudra. And then he does Rudra Tandava. That's a very majestic dance. Tandavam means dance. If someone is familiar with the subtleties of Bharatanatyam, it is mentioned there are 108 types of Tandavas. And one among them is Samhara Tandava. So when the Rudras, they do the Samhara Tandava, so everything is destroyed. So in this way, he is also involved in destruction. So someone was asking, why the Lord is creating and then again destroying? Why should he create in the first place if he is going to destroy? So there is a shloka which glorifies Venkateshwara, Balaji. So in that shloka it is mentioned, Sri Vaikunda Viraktaya. Balaji is addressed like that. Sri Vaikunda Viraktaya Swami Pushkarani Tadhe. There is a Swami Pushkarani. If you had been to Tirumala, by the side of Varahadev's temple, the proper etiquette is you first go to Swami Pushkarani, take bath, then take darshan of Varahadev, then proceed to Balaji's darshan. So, in this shloka it is mentioned Sri Vaikunda Viraktaya. He became detached from Sri Vaikunda, and he is, because of his detachment from Sri Vaikunda, Swami Pushkarani Tade. He is staying on the banks of Swami Pushkarani, that temple near the banks of the temple pond. So now the question is, how come he is becoming detached from Sri Vaikunda? It's a topmost place. So blissful there. Why he is detached? Why he is leaving Vaikunda and coming and staying here? Because Balaji is always concerned about the conditioned souls. He wants to bring all the conditioned souls back to Vaikunda. Only when each one of us, when we say all the conditioned souls, it will include us also. Only when each one of us return to Vaikunda or Goloka, he will become happy. Balaji. Till then, he is always worried. So the example given is, suppose there's a mother and she has got 3 children, and 2 of them are nicely educated, and they are settled abroad, earning nicely. And the last son, he did not get proper education, he did not get a proper job, and no marriage, nothing is hanging around. So this mother, even though the other 2 children are well settled, she's always thinking about the 3rd son. She's always worried about the 3rd son. She cannot stay happy thinking that anyway my 2 children are well settled. No. So similarly, the Lord is always concerned about us because we are hanging around in this material world. We are going around in this Janana Marana Chakram. So that is why the Lord is creating. And there are so many souls, adamant souls, who are given a chance to come to this material world and refine themselves, practice devotional service, practice bhakti, chant Harinam, and go back to God. It is an opportunity. But even then, they don't make use of that opportunity. Then what happens? The Lord becomes merciful so long, for so many yugas, for so many janmas. They are suffering in this material world. So the Lord will think, let me give them a break. And then he gives instruction to Shiva, give them a break. And then Shiva expands himself into Rudra and performs the Rudra Dandava. So, anyway, Shiva plays a very important role, especially in the creation, maintenance, and destruction of this material world. And he actually is a wonderful Vaishnava. In Bhagavatam, it is mentioned, Nimna Ganam Yadha Ganga. Among the flowing bodies of water, Ganga is the topmost. Devanam Achyuto Yadha. Among the Devatas, Achyuta, Lord Krishna, is the topmost. Vaishnavanam Yadha Shambhu Purananam Yitham Tada. Among Puranas, Bhagavatam is the topmost, and among Vaishnavas, Vaishnavanam Yadha Shambhu. Shambhu, Shiva is the topmost. So he is actually a role model for all the Vaishnavas. He is always chanting the glories of the Lord. He is always sitting with a Japamala chanting Harinamam. And he is very much detached. Even though he has access to all kinds of opulences. He is not at all interested in them. He just wears a tiger skin and applies bhasma all over his body. As ornaments, he has got poisonous snakes. And for assistance, he has taken Bhuta Ganas, who were rejected by everyone. He gave them solace. That is why he is known as Bhutanatha. No one wants to keep the Bhutas because they are dirty creatures, very mischievous creatures. Everyone rejected them, but Shiva was so merciful, he said, okay, I'll take care of them. So he's very detached and he's very merciful. In Kailasa, he always sits underneath a huge banyan tree. It is explained in Shiva Purana, and he continuously speaks Krishna Katha. And Mother Parvati sits on his lap, and all the sages, Shiva Bhaktas, they all are gathered around him and they are keenly, raptly listening to the Bhagavata Katha recited by Lord Shiva. So it's mentioned that once after marriage, immediately after marriage, Parvati Devi was taken to Kailasa. So Parvati Devi asked, where is our house? Where is our palace? Parvati Devi is a princess. So she's used to living in huge palaces, luxuries and comforts. And she's coming to Kailasa for the first time and she's asking, where is our palace? And Shiva pointed out to the banyan tree and said, I usually sit underneath this tree. I spend most of my time here, so I did not feel the requirement of a palace. No, but still, now you're a grihastha. No, you should provide me with a proper shelter. No, how can I also be here under the tree? So he said, okay, I'll construct a palace for you. And Shiva constructed a huge palace. And an auspicious day was fixed, and it was Griha Pravesha. So many Brahmanas, Rishis, Devatas, so many people came because it is a Griha Pravesha of Lord Shiva's house. And there was Yajna, Homa, feast, everything happened. So when they were about to leave, Shiva as a Grihastha wanted to give them gifts in charity, because that is a duty of a Grihastha. So he was so generous, he started giving everything that he had. Whatever he had, he started giving in charity to everyone who came. And finally there was nothing left. And fortunately, the guests also left. Whatever he had, it is donated. Nothing left inside the palace, just the palace is there. All the furniture, utensils, everything, household articles, everything is donated. And then Parvati Devi is sitting inside the huge palace, empty, vacant palace. And she's wondering what I will do. There are not even utensils to cook. Just then another Brahmana came. And he said, sorry, Mahadev, it's a little late. I've come to accept some charity from you. And Mahadev looked at Parvati and Parvati Devi looked at Mahadeva, what they will give. And then immediately Mahadeva took Parvati by her hand and stepped out of the palace and said, oh Brahmana, this palace I give you in charity for you. Please accept it. And then he left the palace and again he went and sat under the huge banyan tree. So this is a kind of detachment that Lord Shiva has. And he's highly learned in Krishna Tattva. He assumes the form of Dakshinamurti and he gives Upadesham to all the sages. And it is mentioned in Dakshinamurti Stava, that stotra, that Maunobadesham he gives. Maunobadesham means all the sages, thousands of sages are assembled in front of him, and Lord Shiva sits on the Vyasasana. He has a beautiful smile on his face. He looks at each and every one of the sages, and they also look at the beautiful face of Lord Shiva, and then they stay looking at each other for a long time, and after 1 hour, all of them get up and go. This is Bhagavatam class, complete silent class. Just like in some airports when we travel, they say it's a silent airport, no announcements, and people sleep off and miss their flight. So anyway, like this, there is maunobadesham. So just by the glance of Dakshinamurti, so much of knowledge is passed on to the listeners. So he's a very learned person. So he has got jnana and he has got vairagya. And this jnana and vairagya are the children of Bhakti Devi. When jnana and vairagya are there, then automatically Bhakti will also be there. And that's why he is considered as one among the 12 Mahajanas. And why these Mahajanas are important? Because our Acharyas tell us that Mahajana ena gatassa pantha. You don't have to worry too much about how to progress in spiritual life, which path to take, whether I should do Ashtanga Yoga, or Jnana Yoga, or Karma Yoga, Raja Yoga. Don't worry about anything. Just do one single thing. What is that? Mahajana ena gatassa pantha. You just follow the footsteps of Mahajanas. And Lord Shiva is one among the Mahajanas. So it is very important to understand the teachings of Lord Shiva. In fact, the Prachetas, they were very fortunate to have received such valuable teachings from Mahadeva. And it is popularly known as Rudra Geetam. In fact, Rudra Geetam was given in Kerala on the banks of Narayana Saras. You know where this Rudra Geetam was given to Prachetas? Anyone knows?
Krishna Prabhu, Temple Pond of Guruvayur Kshetra?
Ah, exactly. So we can be proud of that. Shiva delivered Rudra Geetam in Kerala, in Guruvayur. So there he is giving wonderful upadesham about how to meditate on the Lord, what form of the Lord. And he is concluding his Rudra Geetam by saying that whoever meditates on Lord Krishna, whoever does Hari Bhajan, chants his holy name, I will be the most happy person. I will shower all my mercy on such devotees. So, not knowing this, unfortunately, many people, they fight amongst themselves. I know some people, some Vaishnavas who don't want to visit Shiva temples. And there are some Shiva devotees who don't want to come to Vishnu temples. They look at each other as enemies. That means they are misinformed. People who really understand Shiva Tattva, they will start loving Lord Shiva because he is the greatest of the Vaishnavas. He is very merciful. He is more merciful to Vaishnavas than to Shiva Bhaktas. Because Vaishnavas know exactly who is Lord Shiva rather than most of the Shiva Bhaktas. So he is very merciful, and we should always seek the mercy of Lord Shiva so that we can also get Krishna Bhakti like him. He is very eager to serve the Vaishnavas, even though he himself is the topmost Vaishnava. And the most important instruction of Lord Shiva is chanting Harinam. After, giving the entire Vishnu Sahasranamam to Mother Parvati, Mother Parvati is asking a question, if suppose someone has They are very busy, they don't have time to chant all the 1,000 names. What is the way out? And then Shiva is saying, Sri Rama Rama Rameti, Rame Rame Manorame, Sahasranama Tattulyam, Ramanama Varani. Just chant Ramanama. And he is not simply instructing everyone to chant Ramanama. He himself chants Ramanama all the time. That's why he always has a Japamala in his hand. He's always meditating on the Lord. He's always chanting the holy names. And he is Namamrita Panamattaha. He's always intoxicated with the chanting of Harinama. So let's always seek the blessings of Lord Shiva, so that we also get Namya Ruchi like Lord Shiva, and the Seva Manobhava. He always wants to serve the Lord. That's how he came as Anjaneya Swami, to serve his most exalted, worshipable deity of Lord Rama. So Anjaneya Swami is none other than Lord Shiva himself. So we should always pray to Lord Shiva so that we also get this service attitude and we also get this ruchi for chanting Harinam. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Jai Shri Mahadev ki jai. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. If you have any questions.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for your wonderful class. So devotees, if you have any questions, you may please ask Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
So this the elementary creation, that is Sarga, right, Prabhu? This is the first Sadashiva from Shiva. Shambhu is
Sadashiva is from Narayana.
Yeah, Narayana.
Yeah. Then there are two rays coming forth from Vishnu's eyes. One is Jiva Shakti, another is Kala Shakti, and it goes and unites with the Prakriti. And at that time, from Sadashiva, there is another expansion happening called Shambhu.
Oh, okay. Then after Brahma, then next is Visarga started from Brahma.
And then Shambhu expands himself as Shiva, and he enters each and every one of the Brahmanda.
Okay.
And he also empowers the Panjabhutas. Yeah.
So the connection with the Brahma's creation, Prabhu?
Brahma's creation.
Yeah.
With Brahma will create on his own. Like after his meditation in Bhagavatam, it is mentioned, no? He's given the Panjabhutas and the Vedas and he starts creation. But then Shiva is indirectly involved. Because of Shiva's presence, these Panjabhutas unite together. Otherwise, the Panjabhutas cannot unite. So in that sense, he is involved with the maintenance. If the Panjabhutas disintegrate, then the entire world is disintegrated. So he is involved with the maintenance. As Shambhu, he is involved with the creation. He only starts the process of material creation. See, why all this personality come into existence is because the Lord Krishna, he doesn't want to involve with the material affairs in any way. But at the same time, he wants to give an opportunity to the conditioned souls. So that is why he is empowering or delegating this service to Sadashiva. And Sadashiva takes care through his expansions of Shiva and Rudra.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Dandavat.
Thank you very much for a fantastic explanation, Prabhuji. My question, Prabhuji, like why Lord Shiva manifests in Linga form? That's one, Prabhuji. And also I need to, another question is, like for example, Lord Krishna, we can make out from the pictures itself, whether it is Lord Vamana, Narasimha, or his various avatars. Shiva's form, how to distinguish whether it is Sadashiva, Shambhu, or Rudra? These are my two questions, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Okay. So the first question is, you are asking about linga. So the word linga actually is misinterpreted. Linga doesn't only mean the reproductive organ of males. That is one meaning of linga. Linga has got multiple meanings. Another meaning of linga is symbol. That is why we say in grammar we have strilinga and pullinga. That means it is a single symbol of masculinity and femininity. So that is another meaning of linga. And a third meaning of linga is a source, the prabhavasthana. So Shambhu is also known as Shambhu Linga. So that linga is a symbol of energy. It doesn't mean the reproductive organ there. It is a symbol of energy. So when Shiva appears as linga, it shows he is the creative energy. Shambhu Linga. He is a source of energy for the material creation. So that's why she is worshipped as a linga. And the second question, how do we distinguish between Sadashiva, Shambhu, Shiva and Rudra? In the material world, Sadashiva is not actually worshipped. He is usually worshipped as Shiva, even though they call him by the name Shambhu. The actual form of worship is that of Shiva. And Shiva, usually in most of the temples, is worshipped as linga, because he is more involved with the material world, because he enters each and every Brahmanda. Whereas Shambhu doesn't enter, Sadashiva doesn't enter. And Rudra is only a temporary manifestation just for the sake of samhara. So in Kailasa, Shiva is depicted with a Trishula and sitting on a Vrishabha. So why he is sitting on a Vrishabha is because he has got another name called Pashupati. Pashu means Jivatmas. Pati means master. Pashupati. Parvati Parameshwaro Jagata Pitaro Vande Parvati Parameshwaro. Kalidasa is saying Jagata Pitaro Vande Parvati Parameshwara. He is Parvati and Parameshwara are considered as the parents of this material world, Jagat. Because they only help in the creation, maintenance of this material. So, if you are talking about Shiva with the duty or responsibility of maintaining this material world, then Shiva is identified as the person who is sitting on a Rishabha. Pashu. That is, the Rishabha represents all that conditioned living entities. So that is how he is justified. And he is holding a Trishula, because with the help of the Trigunas, Sattva-guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna, he is managing this material world. So the symbol of Rishabha and symbol of Trishula, they both indicate Shiva. Whereas Rudra is in a Tandava form, is in a dancing form. Again, Rudra can be Nataraja as well, because all the dances of Shiva are not Samharatmaka. Only when he does a Samharatmaka Tandava, he is in the form of Rudra. So when you see a ferocious dancing form, then you can understand that he is Rudra. When he is sitting on a Rishabha, you can understand that he is Shiva. Whereas Shambhu and Sadashiva, they are not normally worshipped in this material world in the Shiva Tattvas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Amadvarjan Prabhuji, you may please ask.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. You nicely explained the distinction between Shiva, Rudra, and as well as Linga. Thank you so much. Prabhuji, one final question from our side is that now in Brahma Samhita also we have this shloka, Kshiram Yata Dadi Vikara Vishesha Yoga. So, how exactly to understand this, Prabhuji? How this milk and the dahi, differentiating like, so that one clarification from your side, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay. Brahma is saying Shiva is like a curd transformed from milk. So why this comparison is given is because Sadashiva is coming from Narayana only. So that means Shiva is coming from Vishnu only. In that sense, they are one only. That is why when you go to Mayapur Navadvip Parikrama, there is a temple called Hari Hara Kshetra. Within the same deity, you can see Hari and Hara to show that they are non-different, because Hara is coming from Hari only. So in that sense, Shiva is coming from Vishnu, and Vishnu is compared to milk. But then, are they exactly the same? No. The difference is their roles are different. Shiva is taking care of the affairs of this material world, and Krishna never interferes in this material world. So in that sense, they are entirely different. And Mukti Pradada iti Mukundaha. Mukti, liberation, or going back to Godhead, that is given by only Mukunda. Shiva cannot, give you the benediction of going back to Godhead. Of course, as a Vaishnava, he can help you, he can bless you. But finally, the sanction is given by Mukunda. So in that sense, he is different. But he is same also. That's why Achintya Veda, Abheda Tattva. We talk about Achintya Veda. So simultaneously, one and the same. But there is a difference. So the difference is, from the milk, you can create curd. But from curd, you cannot make milk. So that means from Vishnu, Shiva can come. Shiva originates from Vishnu, and they are non-different. But that doesn't mean that Vishnu comes from Shiva. Or it is like saying milk can be produced from curd. That is not possible. So to show that subtle difference, even though they are simultaneously, they are same, they are also different. Milk and curd have many common properties. But then the most important difference is curd cannot generate milk, but milk can generate curd. So to show that subtle difference, Brahma is giving that example of Kshiram Yadadati Vikara Visesha Shobha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for a really fantastic answer. It clarifies all our doubts. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat pranams to you and all the assembled devotees. Prabhuji, actually, I had a similar question of what Sri Padambada Prabhuji had asked. So, is it so? Is it the reason why Lord Shiva is considered as a demigod? Because if he's a Vishnu Tattva, is it correct for us to call him a demigod?
Well, Vaishnavas, more than demigod, we consider him as a Vaishnava. He is a topmost Vaishnava. Because all demigods are not such excellent Vaishnavas. But Shiva, even though he is a demigod, is also a Vaishnava. He's so pure. He is always chanting. You don't see any other demigod always chanting, always speaking Krishna Katha. That we don't see in the case of any other demigod. That is done only by Lord Shiva. So, we Vaishnavas, we consider him as a very merciful Vaishnava. Yeah.
Thank you. That's a wonderful answer, Prabhuji. One more question I have. What is the significance of Pradosham, Prabhuji? You can, because in our house, even when I was young, we used to attend all this, like how as Vaishnavas we follow Ekadasi. Similarly, we come from a Saivite background. We used to, as when I was young, I always used to attend these Pradosham. So can you just give us some, the thoughts on what Pradosham means? And as Vaishnavas, is there something that we have to do, or there's nothing for us to do during the Pradosha days?
Yeah, different days are important to different demigods. It also varies from place to place. Like in Tamil Nadu, for instance, Saturdays are considered special for Vishnu worship. So in Tamil Nadu, if you go to any Vishnu temples on Saturdays, it is going to be very crowded. Again, in some places like in Kerala, for instance, Thursday is considered very auspicious. Like in my place, there is a big crowd at Varahadev's temple because that day Thursday is considered very special for him. So this regional considerations are always there. But generally, just like Ekadashi is a day of Lord Hari, Pradosham is considered as a day of Lord Shiva, especially in Shiva Purana it is mentioned. So just like we observe Ekadashi Vrata, Saivites observe Pradosha Vrata. Of course, they also fast and they do special worship of Shiva with the Vilva Patra, the leaves of Vilva and Ganga Jala, if possible, because Shiva is considered as Abhisheka Priya. Vishnu is Alangara Priya and Shiva is Abhisheka Priya. So that's the reason why there is always Jaladhara on top of Shivalinga. So this is how they observe Pradosha. They chant Shiva Sahasranama, all those things they do. And especially the Sandhya Kala, every day. And during the Sandhya Kala, that is also considered very special for Shiva because that is the time when Shiva comes out to visit the material world with his Bhuda Ganas. That is the reason why during Sandhya Samayam we are not supposed to sleep, cut our nails or eat. We are only supposed to chant Harinam because Shiva is coming out to see what's happening in this material world. So he'll be very pleased when he sees someone sitting and chanting Harinam. And it is considered a very inauspicious time because all the Bhudaganas are there. And in Bhagavatam it is mentioned, it is because of this copulation during the time of Sandhya that Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu were born to Didi and Kashyapa. So like this, Pradosham anyway is a day which is earmarked for the worship of Lord Shiva. But scriptures also mention that out of all the days which are most auspicious, Ekadashi is the topmost. Just like out of rivers, Ganga is topmost. Out of Devatas, Achyuta is topmost. Out of Puranas, Bhagavatam is topmost. Out of the days, fasting days, Ekadashi is topmost. So once you observe Ekadashi, then we get the benefit of observing any other vratas, whether it be Pradosha Vrata or Shashti Vrata or Sombar Vrata. In North India, many people do a Sombar Vrata. On Monday, they do some fasting to propitiate Lord Shiva. So that is the benefit of Vaishnavas, the advantage of Vaishnavas that Vaishnavas have. If you follow just Ekadashi, if you chant just the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, then everything else is given to them. Everything else is bestowed to them. So we don't have to worry about anything else. And we are very thankful to Srila Prabhupada that he gave us such wonderful concepts like Ekadashi Vrata and the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your wonderful, clear, crystal clear explanation. We are very indebted to you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Manohari Mataji.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranams. Happy to reconnect with you. And after your last visit, I remember many times I had personally sent you a lot of queries. Yeah. And I was inquiring from Anutama Prabhuji also, why are we not having his online classes? I was told that you are not that pro for online classes. But the moment I received this flyer, I was so thrilled. I was telling you, now again we are going to hear from you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your time and love for all of us. Thank you so much. Now the question is, Prabhuji, then you were talking about the disintegration of this Panchatattvas, right? So as per this third canto Bhagavatam, where this Maitreya and Vidura Samvad, yeah, right. So there they are discussing on this, and Maitreya Muni is giving explanation. But why there's no mention at all about Lord Shiva there? It's only stating like Lord's glance, external energy, then the eternal time, these three combine. So this glance is coming from the Lord himself. And as you mentioned, the first expansion comes from Narayana itself, that is Sadashiva. And the two powerful rays which comes out of the Lord's eyes, representing Shiva Tattva and
Kala Tattva. Kala Tattva. Kala Tattva.
Yes, time, yeah, time and Jiva. So then this Shambhu, he comes from where? That time he also expands from Sadashiva. Is it like that? We have to understand like that?
See, when Kala Tattva, when Kala Tattva and Jiva Tattva, they come in contact with the Prakriti, then Shambhu originates. So from who is Shambhu? He is an expansion of Sadashiva.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So see, when all these processes are happening, they are all very complicated procedures. Because of the mercy of Prabhupada, we are understanding it in very simple terms. But when we see plans from, again, so many details are mentioned. From when these rays are coming forth, there is a shadow. From the shadow, Shambhu originated. I did not go into all the details.
Okay.
Yeah, and from the shadow, Parvati Devi originates. From the shadow of Rama Devi. So there are a lot of integrity, finer details inside. But then in Bhagavatam, it is actually Bhagavatam is being explained to Parikshit Maharaj. So he has got limited time. And the aim of Shukadev Goswami is to keep him 100% Krishna conscious. So that when Takshaha bites him, he is completely Krishna conscious. So Bhagavatam talks to you about the topmost aspects of this Leela Vibhuti or Nitya Vibhuti. But if someone wants to go dig deeper, then they can refer to other scriptures and find out all these details. But the point is again, everything is overseen by Lord Vishnu only. Yes. Even though he is not directly getting involved, ultimately he is Sarvakarna Karna. That should not be forgotten. See, when we discuss all these details, we must not think that, okay, so Shiva or Sadashiva is actually doing everything. Ultimately, everything is done by the Lord himself.
Lord himself, yes. Okay. Prabhuji, just other queries. That means Rudra Dev, he is the one who is originating from Brahma's anger. Okay, so out of the four,
See,
one.
externally he is originating from Brahma's anger.
Yeah.
And he starts crying. Rodayati iti Rudraha.
Yeah.
When he starts constantly crying, that's why he's known as Rudra. But then he is an Amsha of Shiva.
Okay. And
Yeah,
Shiva,
he has
how
got a
he originates?
Samharatmaka nature. That is
Okay.
why after some time Brahma tells him, you don't do any creation, because he started creation, ghosts, goblins, all kinds of creatures. So he said, can you please keep quiet and sit and meditate? You don't have a role now, right now. So Rudra is sent away. His role is only during the time of Samhara.
Okay. And Lord Shiva, he originates, he is taking care of the material world, but then his origin?
Shiva is from Shambhu.
Shambhu, okay.
So that is the
Okay.
line. From Narayana, Sadashiva. From Sadashiva, Shambhu. From
Shambhu
Shambhu, Shiva. From Shiva, Rudra.
Okay. Like that. Okay. Prabhuji, one more question. Then regarding Shiva Lok, the placement, how do we understand that?
When we say Shivalok, that's why in the material world, people are only aware about Shiva. And mostly they worship Shiva only. They don't worship Rudra or Shambhu or Sadashiva, even though they address Shiva with all these names. Actually, they are worshipping Shiva. So Shiva's abode in this material world is Kailasa. So people who consider Shiva as the Supreme Personality are promoted to Kailasa. But then they have a hope, because in Kailasa there is constant Bhagavatam class happening. Yeah. So it is not like only morning 8 to 9. Constant Bhagavatam class is happening there. So anybody who is sincerely listening to Shiva's Bhagavatam class, then he will understand that Krishna is supreme.
Yes.
And he can get promoted to Vaikunta from there.
Okay. So, okay. So, but then this Shivalok is definitely not part of the material world.
No. But again, there is a material aspect to it, just like they go for Kailas Yatra.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Like
it
how
is
we have
a
Vrindavan.
material representation of that Kailasa.
Okay.
Yeah. But really speaking, people who are learned in Shiva Tattva, even though they are attracted to Shiva, they would want to go to Sadashiva Loka, not the Shiva Loka. Because Shiva is there only for the sake of material manifestation. Once his material affairs are wound up, then he doesn't have a role here. Then they all will merge into Sadashiva.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And in our Goloka chart, where how do we, where is this Kailash? How to understand that?
It is just after Brahma Jyoti. It will be
After
pictured.
Brahma Jyoti.
Yeah. After you cross Brahma Jyoti, in the beginning of the spiritual side, this Sadashiva Loka is there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So top down, it means Vaikunta. Just after Vaikunta is Lord
No,
Shiva's.
actually, the
Sadashiva.
entrance to the spiritual world is Ayodhya.
Okay.
Ayodhya is the entrance. From Ayodhya, the spiritual world starts.
Okay.
So there are innumerable spiritual Vaikunta lokas. Like there is a loka for Vamana Deva, there is a loka for Narasimha Deva. So similarly, there is a loka for Sadashiva, because he is a Narayana Murti.
So which means this Sadashiva Loka is one of the Vaikuntas.
Yeah,
No.
it is on the side of spiritual planet.
Haribol.
But then why it is given a special status is, there they are always doing Kirtana. In other Vaikunta planets, there is a Narayana Murti to be worshipped. But in Sadashiva Loka, Sadashiva himself worships Narayana.
Okay, so he is showing by example.
Yes.
Wow. This is so interesting, Prabhuji. Very, very nice. Scriptures are so interesting. And that too to hear
Very
from
interesting.
learned people like you, even more
And
interesting.
if you want to have a first-hand experience, you should go and see there. How much ever we explain, it is like we can only comprehend 3 dimensions. When you talk about 4D, 5D, 6D, you know, our heard words.
Goes beyond. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
But that means
That's
there's hope for anyone.
Anyone. Yeah.
Yes.
In fact, when we go to Goloka or Vaikunda, you can always tell Vishnu or Krishna that day in the class, 12 o'clock, we heard about this Sadashiva Loka. Can we go for a picnic there? They will take you.
Okay. So can we relate this to 411 Prabhuji? Etamam Prabhatante Krishna says, he says all roots from me only. Manisha, Sarva, yeah, everything, yes. So Vartamana Vartante, all path, everything is leading to me only. So whatever route you take, you have to, one has to go back to
reach me. You will ultimately reach me. The only question is whether you want to climb the stairs or you take a lift.
Lift, yes, that's what.
That you have to.
Yeah.
Even the yogis in Bhagavatam it is explained, no? Some yogis, they want to experience all the 14 planetary systems. So instead of going directly to Vaikunda, they will go to Tapaloka, Maharloka, Brahmaloka. They'll experience all those lokas and then finally they travel to Vaikunda. So that is up to the living entity to decide which route to take.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. So which means every word what Bhagavan is saying in Bhagavad Gita, we can relate to actually practical aspects. Only we have to do a little bit research and hear more.
Yeah. Krishna is not bluffing. Whatever he says is correct.
And he's giving us hope. He doesn't want to, everybody has to come back to him. That shows his real compassion. Somehow or the other, yeah.
Yes.
Very, very nice, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. When are you coming, Prabhuji, to Kuwait, Kanyadesh?
I don't know. Anitam Prabhu has to plan.
Okay. He has to become Anukul. Okay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for wonderful discourse on Shiva Tattva. 2 weeks back, we had a discussion in our morning Bhagavatam class. So they were discussing about Sadashiva, Shambhu, Shiva, Rudra, and all. So Anitam Prabhu decided, let us get it clarified from Nityananda Prabhu. Prabhuji, I would request you to comment and conclude on living body of Shiva Tattva or any one of the Shiva Tattvas and the status as a Jiva. These 2 aspects.
Can you repeat your question? What is your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Can we conclusively say Shiva Tattva is a Jiva Tattva? Is the process of living body is happening to Shiva Tattva? If not for all the Shiva Tattvas, have any one of Shiva Tattvas?
Okay, Shiva Tattva is not Jiva Tattva. Shiva Tattva is far more, advanced than Jiva Tattva. And Shiva Tattva, again, when we say they leave their bodies, like when we say Rudra is leaving his body or Shiva is leaving his body, that doesn't happen like what the Jivatmas do. They actually merge back to their original source. That's how it happens. Even in the case of Panchabhutas, when the final devastation happens, what will happen is Prithvi will merge with the Jala. Jala will merge with the Agni. Agni will merge with the Vayu and Vayu will merge with the Akasha. So it is that the kind of disintegration or death that is happening at that level is different from the death that is experienced by the conditioned soul. So that is a totally different concept. So it is in no way similar to the Jiva Tattva. Yes. Shiva Tattva is a very exalted Tattva.
In the class, we had a lengthy discussion about Prabhupada's comments on Brahma, Shiva, living bodies. So that was one of the cause of.
Yeah. So that means
Of
they
this
also
class.
die. That means they also die because they are in the material world. See, anyone who comes to this material world, they have to die. So, in that sense, they also die. But their death is totally different. Just like in Bhagavatam, it is mentioned when Brahma went behind Vagdevata, his own daughter, he felt
Yes.
very bad and he left his body. But that doesn't mean that he died and there was a cremation and all. Antyeshti Kriya, nothing. Actually, his body got transformed into fog. That is what is mentioned in Bhagavatam.
Yes. Mist.
So,
Yes.
yeah, mist. Yeah. So, whenever we say they die, they left the body, that is on a different level. To give you another example, when mother of Kapiladev, Devahuti, when she left, she transformed herself into a river.
River.
Yeah, yeah. So that is a different way of leaving their body.
Thank you. I think it must be clear to all the members who attended the discussion on that day.
Hare Krishna
That was the
Prabhu.
cause of this class, in fact. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, so it means that Shambhu has a lifespan. Shambhu, Shiva, Rudra, they all die at some point of time, right?
Yeah.
Whereas,
They, again, die in the sense
They disappear.
merge back into their original source.
okay. Whereas Sadashiva is eternal.
He is eternal.
Okay. So Mahadeva refers to Sadashiva? Mahadeva refers to whom?
That's why Mahadeva usually means Shiva.
Okay.
Devadidev, Mahadev,
Parameshwar.
all those things, they
Parameshwar,
usually
yes.
refer to Shiva.
Okay. And why was 11 Rudras created?
Well, actually, there are 5 karmendriyas and 5 jnanendriyas. And finally, there is a subtle body. So when we say this material world is destroyed, then generally it means all these 11 entities are destroyed. Subtle body, jnanendriyas and the karmendriyas. So the 11 Rudras signify the destruction of that 11 elements of material creation.
Okay.
Because even, see, again, when we say the subtle body is created, again, there is a process. Like the subtle body is dissolved when a living entity takes his bath in Viraja river. That is what is mentioned in Bhagavatam. And as soon as he takes bath in Viraja Nadi, then his subtle body is dissolved and he assumes a spiritual body, and from there onwards, he proceeds with his spiritual body to the spiritual planets. So that is a higher level understanding. But that disintegration is initiated by the Rudras.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
One more question,
Krishna.
Prabhu. One more.
Yes.
So is Shiva a post, Prabhu, like Brahma?
Yes, Shiva is also a post. Because when we say Shambhu is expanding, if someone, if there is a very exalted living entity who wants to take up that responsibility, then that living entity is given an opportunity. So that is also possible.
So Shambhu is also a post. Shambhu, Shiva, all these are posts.
Yeah, any post related to the material world, it can be taken by any qualified living entity.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, the 5 karmendriya, 5 jnanendriya. What is the 11th aspect? 11th one is?
That's the subtle body. That is mind,
Subtle body.
intelligence, and ego.
Okay, well, Anabuddhya. And generally, Prabhu, Brahmas, they at the end of their lifespan, they go to spiritual world, no? Those who are holding the post of Brahma.
Well, again, it all depends on your desires. Because this is one Brahmanda. But some Brahmas, they may have a desire to go to another Brahmanda.
Okay,
This
a
is the
higher one and
Brahmanda
roll there.
this is the Brahmanda of Chaturmukha Brahma. There are
Chaturmukha.
Panjamukha Brahmas,
Yes.
Shashtamukha Brahmas. So if they want to proceed to those worlds, they are welcome to.
That is a new thought. For me.
That is
That
why
is-
it is very important to have a strong desire to go back to Godhead. Even though you are in ISKCON, even though you are initiated chanting Harinam, that is all fine. But unless and until you develop a strong desire to go back to Godhead, you may end up in some other world also. That's why Prabhupada said many of my disciples will go to heavenly planets. Even though they are chanting, they have still materialistic desires.
Prabhuji, Nivritti Marga is far better than Pravritti Marga. No need of going step by step. Leave at the earliest.
When we say better, it depends on your mindset. Different people have different mindsets. Some people, they want to take the stairs. They think climbing stairs is healthy. Some people, they don't want to waste time. They will take a lift. So it depends on your desire and mindset.
Hare Krishna. Any other? Manohar Madaji, you still raised your hand.
Yes, just one more project. This one, we're talking about the word Rama, right? So in Vishnu Sahasranamam, Lord Shiva addresses Parvati Devi as Rama. Rame Rami Manoram. And the same name, Rama, comes in Bhagavatam 8th canto, that time Alai Magal comes, means Goddess Lakshmi, she comes and she's also addressed as Rama. So I was having this question, and you mentioned in the class that Parvati Devi herself is an expansion of Lakshmi Devi. So that Praman, is there, Prabhuji, anything? Because generally when we need to know, right?
So your question is why Parvati Devi is also addressed as Rama?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
Okay. See, originally Rama is Lakshmi Devi. Because Rama means it is coming from Ramayati. Ramayati means you attract. It is very pleasing. But then Parvati Devi, it is mentioned that she is always attracted by the chanting of Mahadeva. So in that sense, she is also considered as Rama.
Okay.
See, sometimes when you ask wives, why are you attracted to your husband? What is that major thing that attracts you and all? Different people, they come forward with the different reasons. Well, he's very strong. He has got a good job. They come up with so many reasons, right?
Yes.
But Rama is saying, I am attracted to my husband because of his constant melodious chanting of Harinam.
Okay.
So in
it's
that
got
sense,
to do only with the name, but not the personality.
Yeah, it's a name.
Name. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because sometimes we mention Gauri means it's Parvati Devi only, but same Gauri we call Radharani also. Like Gaudiya, they say it comes from that word Gauri because
of Gaura Varna.
Varna, yes, yeah.
So she's golden hued, no?
Okay, but doesn't represent. But it was only namesake. We can say like that.
Yeah, it is name, but then the names have got a meaning. See, in Tamil Nadu, there are many ladies who has the name Azhagi.
Yes.
They may not be really Azhagis. But in the spiritual world, when you call someone Azhagi or Shama Sundara, it really means that. It's not simply for the sake of name. Yeah. They deserve that name.
Okay.
Krishna Prabhu, when we
Thank you
chant,
so much.
we chant Mahamantra, some people want to relate the word Rama to any of the three Rama avataras. They are not able to understand that is just one of the name of the Lord.
Yeah.
Initially.
See, sometimes people are confused. Who is this Rama? So Prabhupada has mentioned that Rama can mean three personalities. Rama can mean Ramachandra, Sri Rama. Rama can mean Balarama. And Rama can also mean Radha Ramanara, Krishna. So when you go into different higher levels of chanting, then your concept of Rama changes. So finally, you will understand that Rama is Radhika Ramana. So everything is related to Krishna. Even they don't want to relate to Balarama or Sri Rama. They are completely relating everything to Radhika Ramana, Shamasundara.
Yes, Prabhuji. By taking the literary meaning of the Rama, highest Rama is Lord Krishna only, who gives maximum pleasure.
Yeah. But for a Rama devotee, Sri Rama devotee, or if you ask Hanuman, he will not agree with you. He will say the highest pleasure is Lord Rama. So it is different for different devotees.
And the Prabhu, the word Rama, which is coming in the Vishnu Sahasranama, refers to Lord Krishna. So who is giving the maximum pleasure?
Yeah. It can refer to Lord Krishna also.
Yes, and Parshuramji, Sriramji and Balaramji are also capable of giving different levels of pleasure. So they were named as Rama, but original Rama is Krishna.
No, that is why in Ramayana, there is a fight between Parashurama and Sri Rama. One reason of the fight was Parashurama is saying, I am already a Rama here. So which Rama are you? When I am there, how can you be considered as Rama? So that is one concern of Parashurama. So even Parashurama is Rama, Bhargava Rama or Bhrigu Rama. So it can mean anything. It depends on your Ishta Murti, Ishta Devata. But Prabhupada said it means these three things like Ramachandra, Balarama and Radhika Ramanara.
Hare Krishna. Sudarshana Prabhu, if there are no further questions, shall we conclude?
Definitely, Prabhu. It is late for Sundar Prabhu. Their time is 1:30.
So thank you very much, Prabhu, for this wonderful class and for your association. From my side, at least, I could get something about Shiva Tattva. I could get a better understanding of these personalities. So, Asimananda Prabhu, our Yatra leader, Asimananda Prabhu is here. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Or Sudarshana Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Can you please give the vote of thanks?
Asimananda Prabhu is in a position to speak, maybe at workplace. Okay. I think Prabhu is busy. So, Prabhu, I shall. Thank you. First, let me thank Anuttam Prabhuji to arrange such a wonderful discourse on a short notice. It was much needed. So we are not able to comprehend with just the purpose and the translations alone. So this was highly needed for us. The devotees here have been struggling hard to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, and the reading is in the 8th canto now. So the much needed class for us. So thank you, Sundar Nityananda Prabhu, for making the concepts of Sadashiva. I mean, not concept, the existence of Sadashiva, Shambhu, Shiva, Rudra, how they expand, what roles they have, where they reside, and how many of them disappear, and how they disappear. So I think all doubts are cleared in the minds of devotees. And devotees are also interacted very well, clearing the doubts by taking this rare, wonderful opportunity. So let us express our gratitude to Nitya-dāsa Prabhuji for his time, efforts, knowledge, and of last but not the least, his mercy to address us. Let us unmute and chant loudly Hare Krishna mantra, text of holy name for Sundar Nityananda Prabhu to have more and more wonderful classes to enlighten fallen souls like us. Please chant. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Pranamam Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Pranamam.
Hare Krishna. Offer Vaishnava Pranam. Pancha
Panchakalpadarivyach karvasambhyo Patitanam Vamanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Ananta Kodi Vaishnavinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Sudarshan
Sundar Nityananda Prabhu ji ki
Guruji ki jai. Thank you, Guruji. Danda pranams to